Picture a quiet morning in Friendswood, Texas, where a 12-year-old aspiring ballerina goes for her routine jog. Meet Laura Smither, a radiant young girl with lofty dreams of pirouettes, arabesques, and grand jetés on the world's grandest stages. Laura was a beacon of light, a young star in the making, whose vivacity brought warmth to everyone around her. Her mother, Gay Smither, fondly recalls Laura as someone who was touched by light, a beloved figure in their tight-knit community. On that fateful morning of April 3, 1997, Laura laced up her running shoes and set out for her usual jog, a routine as familiar to her as the ballet positions she so diligently practiced. The neighborhood, usually abuzz with the humdrum of daily life, was quiet, an idyllic backdrop for the young ballerina's morning run. As the morning stretched into afternoon, Laura's absence became increasingly alarming. An hour passed, then another. The Smithers, gripped by an unsettling worry, dialed the local police. Laura had never been late before. The concern soon spread like a ripple in a pond, from the Smithers home to the neighbors and then to the entire community. The police, with the help of community members and wider law enforcement, including the FBI, launched an exhaustive search operation. The entire town rallied together, their collective hope a beacon in the growing darkness. The search spanned across a staggering 75 square miles, a testament to the determination of a community refusing to give up on one of their own. But 17 days later, the beacon of hope flickered and died. Laura Smither, the aspiring ballerina whose dreams were as vibrant as her personality, was found lifeless. The discovery was a painful blow, a grim end to a search that had begun with hope and urgency. The jovial neighborhood was now a community in mourning. Their once vibrant beacon of light extinguished far too soon. 17 days and 75 square miles later, the discovery of Laura Smither's body left Friendswood shattered. Our story takes us 300 miles north from Friendswood, where another young woman would soon suffer a similar fate. This time, we're in the life of Kelly Cox, a bright 20-year-old student at the University of North Texas and a new mother to her baby girl Alexis. With dreams of becoming a therapist, Kelly's future was as promising as it was exciting. On a warm summer day, July 15, 1997, Kelly, along with her criminal justice class, toured the city of Denton jail. When the educational trip concluded, she returned to her car, only to find that her key wouldn't work. Stranded and needing help, she called her boyfriend from a payphone at a nearby gas station. When her boyfriend arrived to pick her up, Kelly was nowhere to be found. Her sudden disappearance was as puzzling as it was alarming. The young mother, who was always punctual when it came to her baby, was missing. Kelly's mother, Jan Bynum, recounts, "When 5:30 rolled around, I knew without a doubt something was wrong, because that's when she was supposed to pick Alexis up from the babysitter. Naturally, suspicion fell on Kelly's boyfriend, but any doubts surrounding him were quickly dispelled when he passed a polygraph test. The authorities were back at square one, with no leads, no witnesses, and a growing sense of dread. The case of Kelly Cox, full of promise and cut short in its prime, was quickly going cold. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Kelly's absence became a haunting reality. Her baby girl Alexis, too young to understand the magnitude of the situation, was left without her mother. The bright young student, the aspiring therapist, the loving mother, all were lost in a mystery that was slowly fading into the background. Without witnesses, the young mother's case soon grew cold, leaving a baby girl without her mother. Just 11 days later, a shocking discovery was made across state lines in Bethany, Oklahoma. A routine patrol led an officer to an unexpected sight at the Sunshine Car Wash. An abandoned white Dodge neon sedan sat ominously, a silent testament to a mystery about to unfold. The car was unlocked, keys left in the ignition with money in the console. It was an unusual scene, one that didn't fit the typical patterns of a robbery or a carjacking. Lynn Williams, a former division director of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, recounted the peculiar details. The absence of any signs of struggle or theft turned the spotlight to a more sinister possibility. The car was traced back to its owner, Tiffany Johnston, a 19-year-old newlywed. The day of her disappearance, Johnston had plans to celebrate her 3-month wedding anniversary. Instead, she became the focal point of a haunting investigation. The following day, a grim revelation shattered any hope of Johnston's safe return. Her partially clothed body was found along the interstate. She had been brutally raped and strangled. Her life abruptly ended in a senseless act of violence. The cold reality of Johnston's fate sent shockwaves through the community, adding another layer to the growing fear along Interstate 45. Investigators quickly collected DNA swabs from the crime scene, hoping for a lead to identify the monster behind this horrific crime. Yet the trail went cold once more. The DNA evidence, much like the previous cases, proved inconclusive. The samples didn't match any profiles in the existing database, leaving the investigators back at square one. Johnston's case was added to the growing list of cold cases that haunted the communities along the corridor of Interstate 45. The similarities were undeniable, yet the perpetrator remained elusive. The chilling uncertainty left everyone questioning. Who would be next? With inconclusive DNA evidence, Johnston's case, like Cox's, also grew cold. The predator was still out there, leaving a path of despair and unanswered questions in his wake. Opening. A month later in South Texas, another young woman's disappearance would shatter the lives of another family. In the late summer of 1997, the tranquility of South Texas was abruptly shattered. The unsettling wave of disappearances had reached the doorstep of the Cain family. 17-year-old Jessica Cain, a talented stage actor brimming with promise, would become the latest victim in this chilling series of vanishings. Jessica was no ordinary teenager. She was a gifted performer, a shining star on the stage. Her vibrant energy and captivating talent had won her several roles in local theater productions. Those who knew Jessica admired her for her passion and dedication. She was set to begin college, eager to hone her talent and make her mark in the world of theater. On a late summer night, Jessica was returning home from a celebratory dinner with friends. The dinner was a farewell of sorts, marking the end of a successful theater production and the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. But Jessica never made it home that night. She vanished, much like the other young women whose stories we've shared. Her vehicle, a late-model pickup truck, was found abandoned along the side of the interstate. Her parents, Susie and C.H. Cain, were devastated. The disappearance of their daughter, a young woman on the cusp of her dreams, left a void that could never be filled. The community rallied, search parties were formed, and law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly. But despite their efforts, Jessica Cain was nowhere to be found. The case of Jessica Cain, like the others, would languish in the annals of unsolved mysteries. The leads ran cold, the trails disappeared, and the hope of finding Jessica dwindled with each passing day. As months turned into years, Jessica's story was etched into the tragic narrative of the lost girls of Texas and Oklahoma. Closing. Just like the previous cases, Jessica Cain's disappearance would remain a mystery for over 2 decades. Despite the proximity and similarity of the cases, it would take more than 20 years and the forensic hypnosis of a surviving victim to capture and convict the man responsible. Forensic hypnosis, a technique not commonly known to the public, played a pivotal role in solving these cold cases. But what is this intriguing method? Simply put, forensic hypnosis is the application of hypnosis in a legal context, often used to help witnesses or victims recall critical details that their conscious minds have blocked out. In the case of our serial predator, a survivor was able to undergo this process, bringing forth key details previously hidden deep within her subconscious. The therapeutic session transported her back to the traumatic incident, allowing her to re-experience it in a safe and controlled environment. During this hypnotic state, she was able to recall crucial details about the attacker, such as his physical appearance, the sound of his voice, and even minute details about the surroundings that she hadn't consciously registered at the time. These clues became the missing pieces of the puzzle that investigators needed to track down the predator. The information obtained through forensic hypnosis led to the creation of a more accurate composite sketch, which was then released to the public. This sketch triggered a recognition in a local resident who was able to identify the predator. The man was apprehended, and the evidence against him was overwhelming. The once cold cases turned hot, and the serial predator was convicted for his heinous crimes. Forensic hypnosis proved to be a breakthrough in this case, demonstrating the power and potential of this technique in criminal investigations. It's a testament to the incredible strength and resilience of the survivor who, through revisiting her traumatic experience, was instrumental in bringing this criminal to justice. Through the power of the mind and the perseverance of law enforcement, justice was finally served. These cases serve as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and awareness of our surroundings. In a world brimming with unpredictability, it is our obligation to remain vigilant, our eyes wide open to the realities that lurk in the shadows. Vigilance is not simply about fear, but about understanding the world we live in and making conscious choices to protect ourselves and those around us. The stories we've shared today provide a chilling testament to the fact that danger can arise from the most unexpected places, even in the midst of our everyday routines. However, this shouldn't immobilize us with fear. Instead, it should inspire us to be more mindful, more observant, and more prepared. Awareness, in this context, is about more than just being cognizant of one's surroundings. It's about understanding the signs of danger, recognizing when something feels off, and knowing when to seek help. It's about paying attention to the small details that can often make a big difference. Our personal safety often depends on our ability to notice these details and respond appropriately. The simple act of being aware can be the difference between a close call and a tragic outcome. This is why it's so crucial to cultivate a mindset of vigilance, not just for ourselves, but for the people we care about. We must remember that vigilance is not a solitary act, but a collective responsibility. It's about looking out for each other, about creating communities that prioritize safety and take active steps to protect their members. By fostering a culture of vigilance, we can contribute to a safer world for all. Stay vigilant, stay aware, and always be ready to protect yourself and your loved ones. The world is a safer place when we all look out for each other.